Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyoncé. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Not up.
Jay-Z is no longer performing. Blood is his aim. Do you also know who sparked the fuse? 50 Cent, of course, this time. The resilient player who has never given up might have really gone too far. You see, 50 threw fire, not just shadow, the marriage between Jay and Beyoncé. Leaked movies have made people chuckle, bizarre control claims, and secret agreements are all on the table. Everything. Does a Queen Bee industry exist? And what if instead of smoke, the wild stories of the 1950s are sparks of reality? This isn't your normal rap beat. It's a private issue, Jay. He's not ignoring it anymore. He's going straight for 50. Furthermore, despite the fact that 50 has been nudging the beast for years, he went nuclear this time. He didn't just critique Jay's songs, in essence. He claimed that the man owes his whole career to Beyoncé. It's a bold move, in pursuit of the throne. Everything went awry when Andrew Schultz and I got down to record the Flagrant podcast in the 1950s. To put it mildly, the man was not holding back. I spoke with vigor in every syllable. This time, 50 Cent went too far after years of being on Jay-Z's neck.
Wow, so that's the deal.
Yeah, that's the deal. Like, the other ones didn't count as much as that one did.
Went all in on the atrocious podcast with Andrew Schultz, implying that Jay's success is due to his ability to control Beyoncé rather than to skill or diligence. You're right. 50 claims that rather than music, Jay's fortune is built on marital abilities. They did make jokes about it, yes, but 50 wasn't playing around. He stated frankly, Jay hit the jackpot by marrying Bey. The wedding was more than just a 1950s romance. It was a calculated action. The transformation of Jay's image from Marcy Projects to Madison Avenue gave him the boost he required to become the perfect family man. And that change opened doors, expanded brands, and changed everything for him.
When Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyoncé. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Not up. Trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at this, you're like,
but because 50 wasn't done yet, buckle up if you thought that was crazy. He showed a video that has been going viral online of Beyoncé and Jay at a game, in which Beyoncé seems completely drunk. She is barely opening her eyes and is staring off into space. Naturally, fans would attribute it to fatigue or jet lag. But in the 1950s, it was much darker. He claimed that Bey wasn't just worn out. She had been given before the match. That was the real reason she seemed dazed, he said, and to complete it, he took out another clip. This Grammys performance only reinforces a theory, he says. Have you watched the video where Jay-Z attempts to convince Beyoncé to drink over and over again, like putting forth a real effort? Look at his face when she says no. That expression is not only one of disappointment, there's another factor at play. It's peculiar, very unsettling. Why did that drink make him feel so under pressure? It didn't appear like a moment of affectionate husbandry. According to 50, it seemed under control. Some folks are starting to notice it, let's face it. Jay and B's relationship is less like a genuine love tale and more like that of a puppet. Master and actor.
That is used man. What was in love better part?
Y'all didn't hear the beat. I heard the beat, but then the beat went away, and she continued to rock and sway. Sometimes when you're a musician, if she been in the studio or whatever, the beat is still in her head, and you know she can hear the song.
50 didn't just think of the idea. He is now voicing what others have been whispering for years. The darkness grows at this point. Most people don't know about Beyoncé's alleged early difficulties. Before she even became Queen Bee, she was reportedly being given to powerful industry figures as part of the game, according to some reports. Does that sound crazy? Then, move forward. Watch the video of Bun B from UGK. UGK and Destiny's Child used to record in the same building. According to Bun's interview, Pimp C thought about just saying hello to the females, but it wasn't a playful situation. Despite her smiles and fangirl fervor, Beyoncé's father, Matthew Knowles, had a different vision. He wanted Pimp C to date her, not because he was in love, but because it would make him and Beyoncé more well-known. Things start to pile up. As though Beyoncé wasn't just climbing the corporate ladder, we buried her. She was being positioned from the start. Pimp C may have thwarted Matthew Knowles' plot, but guess who didn't? Jay-Z, and from this point on, it becomes wilder. For the role she has been performing for years, Bey underwent rigorous training. According to Jaguar Right. Do you believe that to be absurd? Look more closely. Beyoncé had it all. Beauty, fame, talent, and wealth. Why did she choose to date a man who had been put on probation for assault with a knife? Indeed, it is One admirer pointed out that Jay-Z stabbed Lance Rivera in the music business while he was in his 30s.
He ain't show up. So he's like 20 now. He had like 18 since he been down. He had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
Despite pleading not guilty, he was given a probationary term for third-degree assault in 2000. The chronology is now available. By claims that she started dating Jay in 2001 or 2002. She therefore got involved when he was first stabbing a man. He is currently on probation. After that, she married him and had 3 kids. Seriously, who does that? Most individuals wouldn't even text back someone with that record, much less live with them for the rest of their lives. If it wasn't just love, it was planned. Jay and her father made a deal that helped them both in their careers. This is where the real kicker is, when women in comparable settings start to feel constrained. They finally rebel. Jay thought it was not a risk I could take on paper, Jaguar claims. He wanted more than Beyoncé. He wanted power, total authority. How did he keep it up? He allegedly gave her narcotics, according to the gossip mill.
There's something so intriguing about that couple. Like, even though, like, it makes it more interesting because you don't know what they were talking about. Like, are they having an argument?
Can we reenact it and let's see what they were talking about?
Now, I told you I wasn't about to get any popcorn now. I'm just tired. I'm flawless, and I'm tired, Jay-Z.
But what about some juju beads? I like juju beads. They
I mean, yeah, I know, but it ain't about that right now.
Whoppers. Well, if you don't do it, I'm gonna put you where Solange is at. You can't even see her.
Oh, really? It's like that now? Okay, so let me call.
Yes, it does sound like a conspiracy unless you take into account what happened with Diddy and Cassie. Suddenly, the whole Beyoncé and Jay-Z notion appears. Less unlikely, doesn't it? Nor is it merely a matter of gossip. Blind artifacts that offer hints about BAS' alleged activities have come to light over time. One in particular sticks out and is insane. It describes a celebrity who possesses all of the following: notoriety, attractiveness, a supportive spouse, talented kids, and remarkable global success. However, it is said that a Class A chemical provides the energy required to keep everything in balance. One thing keeps her going through the chaos of fame, according to that source. It is now a daily necessity, whereas formerly it was simply an occasional occurrence.
There's a lot of our guys in there. There's a ton of Rap-A-Lot guys in the building. And Destiny's Child is recording in another room in the studio. Okay. And so Pimp goes in, they're like, Destiny Child over. He's like, oh, I want to meet them. They tight. He goes in, he introduces himself, and I guess Beyonce was kind of taken aback that she was beating Pimp C. Again, this was before Destiny's Child was a worldwide phenomenon. And so he comes back in the studio, and we're recording and hanging out, and Matthew Knowles comes in, and he asks Pimp, can I talk to you for a minute? And so they leave out for a couple of minutes, and Pimp comes in, and he's dying laughing. And we're like, what's wrong? He's like, yo, Matthew Knowles just told me to f his daughter.
And even those closest to the disaster were taken aback by its magnitude. Although people knew she was cool with cannabis, they were nevertheless taken aback by her items. Given her upbringing, though, perhaps that isn't so shocking. Jay has a well-known past. In the streets, he started his hustle, which included dealing. Not to add that Beyoncé's own family has been the subject of rumors, essentially in the same sentence, when talking about coping mechanisms and stressors that occur in the background. Faison Love stated, it's way more than just old stories. In regard to Jay-Z's history of drug use, it is still a component of the narrative. People would therefore view it as regrettable if Beyoncé likewise found herself enmeshed in such a milieu. Some people might say it had been scripted from the start. Jay-Z has been transparent about his past, so he's accustomed to it. In a rare interview with Oprah, he was candid about his experiences at the Marcy homes, his former haunts. When he stressed that it was really a question of life or death to survive there, he wasn't exaggerating.
You're saying the success is derived from the marriage.
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolade. Because he's no longer viewed as like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Right? You were connected to the biggest.
Jay got it for the music. What? Jay got it for the music.
Now you didn't see. He deserved those. Those shit happens like this, right?
When neighborhoods were hit by the crack epidemic in the 1980s, to get money, 13-year-old Jay started selling drugs. Jay's father had dipped out when he was 11 years old. Like many of the kids in his area, he also had a great regard for the street sellers on the block. Jay used to say on the streets, you had to operate with integrity. If you broke your promise, there were consequences rather than legal action. He was going to deal with you directly. There, he learned the rules, no justifications, genuine devotion. But here's the twist. If Jay really wanted to dominate Beyoncé, as some claim, he already knew the exact strategy. He grew up close to it. He saw firsthand how powerful poisons can be. He saw how people were imprisoned both mentally and physically. The next question is whether any of those theories are actually supported by any evidence. Things start to become a little unnerving at this point. Over the years, body language experts have offered their opinions, pointing out certain odd situations at first sight. This photo of Jay and Bey walking together seems to be picture perfect. But according to North Carolina body language specialist Blanca Cobb, something isn't adding up.
Trained at the esteemed Berklee College of Music. Handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough, because she just started on.
They would feel more natural to walk side by side, she said. Instead, the stance, the vigor, and the spacing all suggest control over comfort in one image. Their lower bodies move perfectly in unison, giving the impression that they are gliding in time. At first glance, it appears to be lovely despite Jay-Z's hand on her, which may be holding her back a little. Beyoncé is smiling, her face softened. Not even her toes are stiff. Say nothing more than I understand you, stay close. It's a little odd, but not entirely wrong. It's simply one of those situations where you just raise your eyebrow and go on. Then there's another image that sparks a lot of conversation. Fans knew something was up after only one look, body language. Expert Blanca Cobb was equally forthright in her opinion. Jay's arm is not around her waist or back. It's around her neck. It's not romantic, it is obviously possessive and awkward. Cobb, this is how I would characterize it. Choosing to touch your partner's neck when you could have just patted their back makes a message. Although it's not always violent, it's about control. That type of contact becomes uncomfortable. At that moment, Beyoncé doesn't lean in. She doesn't do the same to you. Her face is contorted. She had a little crooked body.
Relationship was a business relationship, financial, to get to the top, to become billionaires. There's no love.
And despite the fact that her appearance does not reveal her precise emotions, one thing is certain, Jay's body language conveys a sense of ownership. Jay-Z treating Beyoncé more like a property than a relationship is one example of how it may appear nice to some, but more and more fans are saying it's giving something else entirely. Moreover, Bey's reaction to his touch doesn't quite say comfort. According to body language expert Blanca Cobb, Jay is the one who is always reaching and stroking. That's his way of showing love. But, darling, she's just kind of putting up with it. Cobb said their marriage was not doomed, but she did sound the alarm. Pictures alone cannot be used to judge things. When one person often contacts the other and the other rarely responds, it is telling. And that's exactly what's happening. Bey never matches Jay's ferocity, he just lets things happen. Given her strength, popularity, and independence, why wouldn't Beyoncé demonstrate her love for the man she views as her husband?
Yeah, Beyonce's on drugs. She's been on them for a long time, and you keep her that way. Y'all wish it what you wish it.
Maybe it's because their relationship is more nuanced than it seems. She never really had a voice in the first place, so maybe that's why. According to some, Jay purchased her. It had just been a wild rumor until someone within finally spoke up. And that was the real shock. Her former bodyguard, this man wasn't simply an outsider making educated guesses. He was there to see it all. He said that the whispers were sincere. In addition to claiming that he and Jay were legally married, he also backed the idea that she was using narcotics. This place gets pretty eerie. Ronth, former bodyguard at Beyoncé, was the one who divulged all the behind-the-scenes details. He's gone now, just a few months ago. He was dropping bombshells on the internet, and now, poof, it's gone. Nothing but silence, no cautions, no farewells. Furthermore, fan theories are getting out of hand. Some have speculated that Ron may have died inexplicably. Some claim that he went into hiding because he knew too much. Because he told the truth, he became a target. Additionally, given his comments about Samin would surely want Jay-Z to remain silent if his alleged control tactics and Beyoncé's drug use were even somewhat real. The most ridiculous part is that his claims don't appear so implausible when you consider other stories. One music producer claims that Beyoncé poisoned herself by consuming too many Fiverr energy shots. She had been up for over 40 hours, trying to complete 6 songs in one recording session. The producer said that most people would have slammed the brakes, fainted, and gone home. But not you, darling. She just went on, her body begged her to stop, but she was already in a deep trance. Into the third track of the session, when the producer mentioned that he himself needed an energy boost, Beyoncé didn't bat an eye. She kept shooting as though nothing had occurred. It went beyond just dedication. It was a whole new level of survival mode. It also shows someone pushing themselves over their breaking point over and over again. You know what happened next? When Beyoncé overreached herself, the producer was taken aback. She was planning a vacation after the recording session. She fell unwell. Her body crashed as she shoved it over the edge. Upon hearing about it, some fans cheered and called it next-level hustle. That's commitment, isn't it? But when you stand back, a whole different vision appears. It shows that BA is willing to utilize drugs to further her ambitions, and isn't afraid to push herself too far. Some supporters claim she's just used to that never-ending grind, while others think the truth is darker. Doctors, however, think that her neurological system has been harmed by years of pushing and dosing. Now she can't even get by without it. That much is clear. There are simply too many warning signs about this marriage. The questions that no one else is willing to speak out loud are being asked by 50 Cent. Is Beyoncé being pressured? If so, is Jay-Z planning to silence 50 next? Is that unrealistic in your opinion? Maybe you haven't looked closely at the list of famous people who have suddenly stepped out of the spotlight after a run-in with Jay-Z. What do you think, though? Kindly provide your thoughts in the space provided for comments below. Click like and subscribe to view further amazing breakdowns. Remember to ring that bell so you don't miss what we have planned.